Hello, Samadan here. I decided to buy 100,000 Tidespray linen for 2 gold each, with the thought that I could turn it into more gold. This is my story of what happened and whether I think it was worth it or not. Why did I do it? It was an impulse really. I knew I could turn it into a profit because it was around the threshold, and I'd heard other people talking about how they did it pretty much AFK on a second screen, and it was easy gold. So I thought, why not? Let's give it a go and see what happens. Oh, how wrong I was. Firstly, let me explain what this Tidespray vendor shuffle is anyway. The idea is simple. You buy Tidespray linen for 2 gold or less, and then use that linen to make Tidespray Linen Pants, and then you sell those straight to a vendor for more gold than the cost of the materials. Simple, easy, no need to use the auction house, no relying on other players, safe and reliable. Okay, sounds fair enough. I had some questions before starting this little adventure, and I needed to clear a couple of things up before I got started. The Tidespray Pants require another material, nylon thread, and it's best to get it at the cheapest price possible. That means you need to be exalted with your main BFA faction. In my case, as Alliance, that was Proudmoore Admiralty. I wasn't quite there yet. Luckily, there was an emissary mission up, and I also happened to have a mission table quest for rep ready to claim. I was very close, so it didn't take me too long to get the final bit of rep to push me to exalted. Excellent. First hurdle cleared. Next, I had to find a way to sell the pants easily once I made them. There are a number of add-ons that do this kind of thing. They let you whitelist certain items to be automatically sold whenever you visit a vendor. I had been using one called D-Junk, but it has since been discontinued, so I had to look for another. I was recommended on my Twitch stream to try out Aardvark. There were others mentioned like Scrap and Peddler, but Aardvark sounded like it did the job, so I installed that. It was a bit cranky to set up with the scaling of the interface, but easy enough to add a pair of pants to the list and get those auto-sold. The strange thing was that when Aardvark would sell the blues as well as the greens, it told me the price of the greens but not the correct price of the blues, so I couldn't be sure if it was working correctly. I did some calculations and tests though, and it all works out fine. You get the correct amount of gold for the blues, it's just the chat message in Aardvark that reports incorrectly. I could work with that, so on to the next step. So just how do you manage to make pants from 100,000 Tidespray linen? It's a lot of cloth, 500 stacks of it to be precise, and it will make 5,882 pants. I'd also need 58,820 nylon thread, and that's another 294 stacks. I didn't have enough bag or bank space combined to hold it all. Luckily, I did have a guild bank with several empty tabs that I could offload all my spare bits and pieces and empty out my bag and reagent bank as much as possible. I left a large amount of the Tidespray in the mail. I'll collect it when I needed it, and then I'd buy the nylon thread in batches of about 20,000. Now thankfully you can craft using materials in your bags, your bank and your reagent bank. Even better, you can carry on crafting even if you run out of space, and all your spare items will get mailed back to you afterwards. This is great because it means I can craft in batches of 1,000 pants at a time, once I'd prepared all the space and everything. Right, logistics sorted, now onto the actual task of crafting and selling. How long was this going to take me, and how much of it could I do while semi-AFK on a second screen? These were important questions to me because, as we know,
time is money, friend!
So the first 500 pants was me basically working out what to do, where to put things and how to get set up. I also had to do a great deal of checking and double checking to make sure all my figures were correct. So that took me about an hour and a half to get ready and prepared. I also made the mistake of making braces instead of pants at one stage, so I had to go back and recalculate all my costs, so not a very efficient use of my time for sure. But then I got into the swing of things and started creating pants in batches of 1,000. It takes about 19 minutes to craft 1,000 pants with the Colteran crafting enchant on my gloves. That's time you can leave the crafting on a second screen and keep an eye on it from time to time while doing something else on your main screen. Once crafted, it was a case of selling all the pants in my bags, opening the mail, counting the blues, for science, and then selling those. All in all, this process took me about 8 to 10 minutes. It's very much a case of click, wait, so you don't really need to pay attention. I took a bit of extra time because I wanted to track just how many blues I made versus the greens. Sometimes between batches I'd have to rearrange my stock in my banks, open up some more Tidespray or go and buy another batch of nylon thread. I also had to relist all my auctions which expired halfway through so I could get to the Tidespray at the bottom of the mail. Eventually, finally, I was done. 5.5 hours of setting up, crafting, selling, moving, crafting, checking, selling and more crafting. I was able to do bits and pieces on the PC during this time. Answer emails, check Discord, plan videos and so on. So it's very hard to quantify the actual time spent doing the shuffle versus time doing something else concurrently. It could certainly be done quicker if I wasn't double checking my figures, but that's what I'm here for. So, did I make any money? Let's look at some figures. I made a total of 5,882 pants. That used up 99,994 Tidespray linen that cost me 2 gold each, so that's 199,988 gold. I also had to buy 58,820 nylon thread, so that's 28,233 gold. So the total cost was 228,221 gold and 60 silver. Of the pants I made, 851 of them were blues, which is about 14.5% chance of a blue. I sold the blues as alliance of 47 gold, 28 silver and 37 copper each, so that's 40,238 gold. The rest were all green, which I sold for 39 gold, 7 silver and 73 copper, so that totaled 196,597 gold. So the total value of my sales was 236,836 gold, 32 silver and 50 copper. So that means the total profit was 8,614 gold, 72 silver and 50 copper. Well, there we go. That was a lot of time and effort for not a lot of gold. What could I have done better here? Well, for one, we could have done this as a horde character. I'd get at least another 4,000-ish gold because of the price differences between the two factions. I could have gotten the Tidespray linen cheaper. That would make a big difference depending on how cheap I got them. Then I could have done it a little bit quicker by being more efficient with my time, but a lot of this time is down to the whole crafting and selling, and there's not much you can do about that. So what if I did something else with the Tidespray? I could make Tidespray linen braces and disenchant all the blues for enchanting materials and use those to make enchants and sell those on the auction house. Then with the greens, I could pass them to different characters that needed expulsum and use that to make uncanny gear and sell that. This of course relies on having more professions set up, as well as relying on selling the final goods on the auction house. It's not safe, consistent gold, but the potential rewards are higher, even this late in the expansion. Depending on your server of course. Would I do it again? No. Not unless I got the linen much cheaper. The AFK crafting time wasn't too bad, but the logistics of moving that much material about took more attention and time than I was willing to give for such a reward. Would I recommend this technique? Potentially, depending on if you're a horde, what price you got for your linen, and what kind of spare time you have available to you. This requires a particular set of skills. Skills that are required over a very long time crafting pants. Skills that make this a nightmare for people trying to get their longboy. If you choose to use this method, I will not judge you, but be warned, it will take time. You may well get bored, but you will make money. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or find me streaming on Twitch. The links for that are down below. Until next time, happy gold making, and I'll see you very soon.